trash out of here. I dusted the tables. I'm done.
Um,
There's nothing else. I'm done. It's finished. Okay, the room's clean. All I have to do is move those. I'm going to do that later. Okay, I'm finished.
start in the living room.
I'm finished.
No, you're not.
Okay, I've earned the money at least.
Yeah, you did, but we still have more to do, and you still have lots of time. What time is it? Um,
It's not even close to 1 or 2.
exactly.
All right, well,
Oh, boy, I thought my phone died.
And
Go
see,
ahead.
I'm on my last race, so I'm gonna be able to clean up.
Yes, girl, do it.
go ahead and see me at 2:30. I'm gonna go eat something and then clean up the living room.
Thank you.
I want to do it.
You want to do what?
You need to do the same for my because then we both have curls. If Phoebe has curls, oh, we'll all have curls.
I'll try it out. It's cute. What? Okay. Okay, phone. Act right. Guess it wants me to put it this way. Bubbles. I'm on live, so I picked bubbles for my thing.
Why are you live?
I want to do live. I wanted to see what I don't have that many lives. So I wanted to do a live. I like these bubbles. You want to see the bubbles?
No.
Yeah, we'll stick with the bubbles. Okay. We got live chat and bubbles. What else? What else can we do? Definitely don't want to mute the microphone. I don't get any other options. I definitely like the bubbles. Live chat. But how do I chat? Okay. Guessing nobody's awake yet on uh this Saturday. Hey y'all. So I'm doing a live. Look at my gray hair.
You're not that old.
No, I'm not old, but I got a gray hairs.
Stop being so stressed.
No, it doesn't come from stress. It comes from me being wise.
Pretty sure it comes from stress.
I'm pretty sure it comes from me being wise beyond my years.
That's how aging works.
No, I'm look good forever. Um, so I got off from Uber and I got home like 7 this morning. Um, it was fun last night. I got some of the same people that I got yesterday night and some people from last weekend. I had a couple that said they remembered me from last Friday night and I picked them up and the guy was like, "Oh my gosh, it's this Uber." He was like, "I've been talking about you all week." I'm like, "You've been talking about me all week? What?" So, The reason why he had been talking about me all week was because the first time he got in my Uber last week, he was like, where does all the poop go? And then so we're having this conversation about sewage and how everything goes back to the earth. Eventually everything goes back to the earth. Or at least that's my theory. And so I was basically imposing my theory on him. So now he's like, I guess they didn't want to be weird and like ask for my number or anything. And I also didn't tell them about the YouTube channel because I just assumed that I would be talking about them on here. And usually when I talk about people on the channel, I don't tell them I have a channel. But they didn't inquire about the channel either. You know, normally people read like my bio in, you know, the Uber app, or they'll look at the Octopus tablet and the Octopus tablet will be like, ask her about her YouTube. And then they'll ask me about the YouTube, and then I'll tell them the YouTube, and then they'll know about the YouTube. But they didn't do any of that, and I didn't offer it because I was just like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna talk about these people. But yeah, man, um, we were talking about the poop, and so he remembered me last night. He was like, "It's you," and then so there is this guy I had been seeing um, for a little bit, and he put me on this show called The Last of Us. So I've been watching The Last of Us, and I'm a Walking Dead fan. Now, in my opinion, I like The Walking Dead more than I like The Last of Us, but I'm watching The Last of Us because it's along the same lines. I'm into that whole post-apocalyptic type of thing, Divergent, The Giver, um, The Hunger Games. You know, all of those are post-apocalyptic things. Another good one was The Maze Runner. Guys, with all of those ones that I just said, always the book is better. Now, and I know I'm getting off subject, but I'm saying all of this just to say why I'm watching this series. But back to the books, The Giver. There's always something, you know, books, shows, movies, whatever. But with The Giver, I like the book, but I liked the movie better because it gave me something more. You know, after, you know, he escaped and everything, it gave me a little more. The book left me hanging, and I was just like, there's like this emptiness I need to feel here. You know, my imagination can go further with it because I'm like that. I'm a creator. So, you know, I've written books. I have books. I have art that I do and everything. So after reading The Giver, my brain could only go so far. I was just like, what happened? It was all these different possibilities of what could have happened in my brain. So I'm going this way, that way, this way with the storyline, right? But the movie, The Giver, when I watched the movie, um, it gave me a nice avenue to go down, and I was just like, I like it. So yeah, books are always better, especially with Harry Potter. And no, Harry Potter's not post-apocalyptic, but the whole books versus movies and shows, books always better. Always more details in the books, right? Especially with The Maze Runner. By far, the books were better. Books were better than The Maze Runner. The movies were trash. Um, Divergent. Divergent, the books were better. And what people don't know is there weren't just 3 books. There's 4 books. Divergent actually started out with 4. The first book is about 4 because Divergent was going to be about 4, and then she realized that Trish was a much bigger character, so it became about Trish and ultimately about them too. But what I didn't like in the books, I probably shouldn't tell you guys because I don't want it to be a spoiler alert. But the last movie differed from the books, and I was just like, I fucks with that because I didn't like what she did with the book, with the last book. I didn't like what she did. So back to what I was saying. I watched this series because it's a post-apocalyptic, and I like stuff like that. However, I don't like this one more than I like The Walking Dead.
Mommy,
Yeah.
can I have this?
Go ahead.
Thanks.
But you do have to
Clean up? Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much.
Alright, clean the dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Can I also have some of this?
10:30. It's 10:08 right now.
Let me get some of this too.
Go ahead. Does anybody else want some?
I want some of that.
You have to share.
Go ahead and grab some first, because I'm taking the rest.
Nah, use a straw. No, don't do that. Use a straw. If you don't have no straw.
Go pour some in another cup.
Yes. Let me grab a shot glass.
Yeah,
Just
bro.
clean the dishes.
Anyways, so post-apocalyptics, I like The Walking Dead, and then we were going over different things, and I was telling them in the Uber that some of these shows, right, it can only be realistic so much, right? Because it's a show. In The Walking Dead, I mean, you got people having babies, people are using the bathroom somewhere, they're getting food from somewhere. Some of this stuff is unrealistic. It's just unrealistic. And at some point, right, you would think they would kill off all the undead, you know? You can only behead so many people. Like, there's numbers. And at some point, you're going to reach, you know, the numbers. Like, yeah, it might start out at like 50 million, but then you'll get down to 25 million. You'll get down to 5 million. You'll get under a million. Yeah.
The point of The Walking Dead is to watch an unrealistic show where that wouldn't happen.
I mean, yes.
There's no point in making
And
sense
no.
of a show that's not supposed to make sense.
I like to make sense of shit.
All right.
I mean, that's just it. That's what it is. I like to make sense of it. But if we're making sense of it, at some point you're going to kill off all the undead, and then you'll have a system in place where when somebody dies, you know, to behead them or stab them in the head or whatever the hell it is you need to do to keep the undead from, you know, the living or whatever, or keep the undead from coming back to life. Anyway, The Last of Us is some Walking Dead type shit on steroids, because these motherfuckers are looking like walking flower mushrooms, and they're communicating with each other, and then you can step on a piece of something and all of them are coming towards you. Like, this is some Walking Dead type shit on steroids. My whole thing with The Last of Us was, why isn't everybody dead yet? How the fuck are they staying alive? So if these niggas is on some Walking Dead type steroid shit, like in The Walking Dead, most of them don't run. They're walking dead. Looking at The Last of Us, and these motherfuckers is just like jumping all over the place, running at you. Like, it was just some exorcist type shit going on, like the way the girl was moving and stuff. And I was just like, what the fuck am I seeing? Right? So it's like Walking Dead on steroids. My whole thing was, why isn't everybody dead already? And looking at it, and they're like 10 years later. I think it said 10 years later. 20. Yeah. Thank you, Theo. 20 years later, everybody should have been dead. 20 years later, everybody should have been dead. I'm looking at this thing and saying 20 years later, this girl done found a box of tampons. They still got canned food that they eating. Like, ain't no factory still open. There's no canned foods. There's no tampons. There's no tissue. There's none of this stuff that they're doing. Like, who's keeping these factories running? I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. And so that's what we were going over in the Uber. We were really getting into some deep conversations, because y'all know how it is when y'all riding with me. Like, we gonna talk. We gonna talk. We gonna get into it. We gonna get into all the juicy details. and I'm gonna tell you how I really feel, right? You're gonna tell me how you feel. And if we agree, we agree. If we agree to disagree, we're gonna agree to disagree. But you're gonna leave out of that car, and my thoughts are gonna become your thoughts. And that's what happened to him. I guess like I infiltrated his thoughts and they were like so taken. And so they were like telling people about the show because they watched the show because I asked them to watch the show. And they were like, oh my God, like we just been thinking about you all week. And then of course he was thinking about the whole poop thing or whatever, because, you know, it's not conversation you usually have with regular everyday people. But this nigga got in my Uber and started talking about some poop. So let's talk about poop. And who better than me to talk about some poop, because I'm into it. It's a thing. But yesterday, right, I had them and they were cool and it was Gucci, right? But also I had a deep conversation with somebody else yesterday. This lady got in the car. I fucking love these rides. Whenever I pick somebody up and they're going to the emergency room, love it. So she got in the car and we were talking about why she was on her way to Baptist Hospital. She was like, well, I'm going to the ER. And I was like, oh man, that's unfortunate. I said, are you okay? And she was like, my diabetes is acting up. And I said, ooh, I said, you got diabetes, right? I was like, hey, have you ever heard of Yaki Awaken? And so I told her, I was like, you know, I spelled the name for her, you know, YAKI Awakened, you know, AW Awakened. I don't feel like thinking about it right now. But it's Yaki Awakened. Of course, this guy's on YouTube. He's on TikTok. And he has a website. And what is the website? YakiAwakened.com. Just like Tiffany'sImagination.com. Easy peasy, right? So I was telling her about this guy because while I was watching him one day, I seen where he was saying the different ailments that people have. One of them happened to be diabetes. Another one was HIV/AIDS. You have herpes simplex, HPV, which is human papillomavirus, which could lead to cervical cancer, and different other things, gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia. These things link to certain parasites. Not only do they link to the certain parasites, the parasites are eating the mucus in certain organs. So you can pinpoint a certain parasite and a certain organ to your illness that's causing the illness. Hers was diabetes. Not only was it diabetes, it was type 1. She can get rid of that, right? Diet and exercise. And of course, you know, it's easy to just throw out diet and exercise, right? And that's what me and her started talking about. She was like, I know diet and exercise. And I was like, I know you know, but you don't know. I was like, I'm going to tell you. And so I told her about Yaki Awaken and how you can link these to certain parasites. And she was like, oh my God. And I was like, girl, that's only the tip of the iceberg. That's only the tip of the iceberg. So you can pinpoint that, right? And then I told her about him. And then I mentioned Dr. Sebi, but she already knew about Dr. Sebi. And most people always do. They're like, oh, I heard of Sebi. So you know, but you're not putting it into action. So I think I jump started her last night. I think she was inspired. And then, you know, in her being inspired, I was inspired too. Like, I was like, yeah, let's do this shit, right? So I told her about Yaki, then I told her about Sebi, and I explained to her each person's thing. And I told her, you know, with Sebi, I was like, it's the alkaline diet. And so then that tied in with the Yaki Awakening, right? Because the parasites are eating the mucus in the body. What does Dr. Sebi say, right? Dr. Sebi says, here's the alkaline diet. It gets rid of the mucus in the body. If there's no mucus in the body, there's no disease, right? So she was like, oh shit, she had a aha moment. Because yeah, people can say diet and exercise will get rid of the diabetes, but people don't pinpoint things. And here it is, you have something and you have people that you can go and look at, and these people will give you specific tools and guidelines to where you need to be. And it's not hard. It's really easy because really it's all in here. What does Dr. Sabi say? Stop eating the meats. Yaki Awaken says the same thing. Stop eating those meats, right? But also, he also goes into detail about other stuff that you should stop eating, these processed bullshit with all the stuff in there that's killing you from the inside out. All right, so those was 2 of the 3 people I mentioned to her, right? And already, I know some of y'all know some of these people, right? You're like, oh, Yaki Awaken, like, oh shit, like she's on point. Oh shit, Dr. Sabi, she's on point. Everybody knows about these 2 people. You know who they don't know about? They don't know about Dr. Gondry. Dr. Gondry. This guy is the shit. So, what does Dr. Gondry say? Dr. Gondry says that it doesn't just stop at the meats, friends. It doesn't just stop at the meats. The plants are killing you too. There are some plants that you can't eat. They're killing us from the inside out. So I put her on the Dr. Gondry. You know, normally when I meet people and I go over them with the Dr. Gondry content, they're baffled because people don't know these things, right? And so I'd be like, it's Dr. Gondry, Gundry. And I'm like, I listen to his podcast, but look, let's not stop there. He has all of these different books and things like that. And geez, man, it's good shit. It's good shit. So Dr. Gondry, if you guys don't know already, was a famous heart surgeon, and he was famous for operating on people that nobody else will operate on. And these were successes. So
Hey, can you not look at the feed, like the live chat?
could you not do that?
I'm just asking. You can't really see the chat. Like
I can.
Don't-
I've just been ignoring it because I'm trying to, I'm just giving these people this good shit right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, so Gundry, he has a podcast. I listen to the podcast on Pandora. I fucking love this shit. I've learned so much stuff just off listening to the podcast, guys. I haven't read the books. So apparently he was this famous heart surgeon, but he got famous for what I'm talking about right now because of Kelly Clarkson. She had Hashimoto's and she started reading his book, The Plant Paradox. And that's how she got cured, with his book. Okay, so now he has more than that book. The book that caught my attention was The Longevity Paradox. Anybody that knows me know that I talk about how I'm going to live forever. And I am. So this book will give you all kinds of good things. Something I always tell people, one of the first things I learned from him was about the mushrooms, right? And I've met people before that had dementia and Alzheimer's, and I don't want it. Apparently it happens a lot in women. So according to Dr. Gondry, in the energy paradox, right? I got this off the podcast. I was listening to the Lewis Howes podcast, and he always has Dr. Gondry on because he freaks out about Dr. Gondry just like I do, because when you start learning this stuff, you'll freak out too, right? So 2 cups of mushrooms a week prevents Alzheimer's and dementia. You can live a long, healthy life and have your mind intact. That's the good shit. Like, this guy is awesome. So when did he discover he could start, healing people through food? He was getting ready, preparing this guy for a surgery. The guy came in, he needed a knee surgery. So he was like, hey, you're going to have to lose some weight. So then he put him on his plant paradox thing, right? So a little bit later, probably some weeks later or so, whatever, this guy comes, checks back in so that he can see if, it's time for the surgery or whatever. He's supposed to check back in with the doctor. He says this guy comes to his office and he's jumping and skipping around and happy. And it was like, I'm not getting the surgery anymore. And he was like, you're not getting the surgery anymore. And he was like, yeah. And he was like, why? Because he felt good. because of the diet that the Gondry put him on, regrew the cartilage in his knee. The body can regrow cartilage. The body can do all kinds of shit. You know what it is? You know what I told the lady last night? I said the body has everything, all the tools and the capability to heal you, but you have to provide it with the nutrients that it needs to do it. How can you keep your teeth healthy if you're not getting enough calcium? How can the calcium absorb into your body if you're not taking the necessary vitamins to help the calcium? Because our bodies don't naturally absorb calcium. Ooh, you didn't know that. You need certain vitamins to help the body absorb the calcium. Just things, right? Tools that our body need to do different things. Our bodies grow stem cells. We have the stem cells in our body. They just have to be activated. Do you know what activates them? Killing off the dead cells. Do you know how you kill dead cells? You fast. Fasting kills the dead cells. Stop eating. I was listening to this guy one time, and he was like, people need to learn how to keep their mouths shut. And it was so deep when he said it because he wasn't even talking about talking. He was talking about people putting things in their mouths, and not just food either. Cigarettes, gum, just putting stuff in their mouths. Just keep your mouths closed. Stop putting the shit in your mouths. But yeah, so I gave her a whole new avenue last night, and I was just like, bro, I'm excited for you. Like, oh my God. And like, whenever you do that, like, it doesn't just jumpstart them, like it jumpstarts you. Like, I'm jumpstarted. Like, I'm like, oh shit. Like, let's do it. No more meat. And I'm saying that, and like I said, it's all of here. And only we make this shit hard. At some point, I'm going to crave some chicken. Chicken is bad. I don't even eat like burgers and shit. Like, I love some chicken. It's bad, guys. It's so bad. It's so bad. But yeah, so she was cool. I had her in the Uber last night, and I had those people. I think I had some other interesting conversations. I got the owner for the Shantytown pub again last night. Oh, God, I hate picking him up. He was like, haven't I had you before? And I was like, no. He was like, I had you before. It was in a different car. And I was like, He wasn't the only person last night that recognized I wasn't in the car. That's been happening a lot lately. People were like, didn't you have a truck? Yes, I had a truck. It's gone. But yeah, it was him, the other guy. The other guy was rambling on about, what was he rambling about? He was so cool though. He was rambling about his workplace, about how he's a black man and how he gets treated in his workplace. And I was like, bro, I feel that. I'm not a black man, but I'm black. So I feel you. Oh, speaking of workplace, I ran into like this black couple last night. They was cool as shit. Picked them up on Riverside and took them over to the Paxton area. And we was on the way dropping them off, and we were getting into the whole warehouse thing. But the girl shocked me though when she said she didn't like work for Target. We got into the whole occupation conversation. She was like, I quit my job yesterday. And I was just like, oh, you happy? But yeah, so she quit her job at Target. She said she wasn't being treated right. She didn't like the management there or something like that. And I was like, wow, that's the first time I ever heard somebody say that about Target. Usually everybody's like, hey, you should go work for Target. They pay a lot of money. But she was like, Target pays $15 just like Amazon. I was like, oh, Target. Step up your game. I think at this point, messing around with Amazon, a lot of people's got to step up their game. But like me and the dude was talking about in the car, it depends on which Amazon you go to. So he was telling me he was at Jack's 2. And I was just like, run far. Run far from Jack's 2. That is the worst Amazon. right? I say that only because I hear it from the people all the time. But my first Amazon job was at DJX1. And I always tell people, I'm like, they don't got no AC. Like, we was in there. I lost 20 pounds in my first week of working there, sweating my ass off. And I'm talking about we be moving in there, right? Because the facility I'm at right now, and yes, if you didn't know, guys, I picked up a extra job because sometimes I get off Uber in the daytime. I have nothing to do and I need to tire myself out. And oh my God, boy, did I get a good one. So I'm at Amazon. I'm at a different facility now. I'm not at DJX1 anymore, but DJX1. Oh my God. Ah. So the one that I'm at now, because I started at DJX1, the place that I'm at now, I'm just like, this is some easy ass shit. Like, I fucking love this place. Like, I'm like, oh, guys, I'm going to Amazon. I'd be happy to go to Amazon, y'all. It's crazy. But compared to where I came from, this is like a cakewalk because, you know, obviously they have air conditioning in this one. The old one, the facility I'm at now is like 24 hours. The old one, you have to get that shit done. We got in there at 2 a.m. and you have to be done by 2 p.m. because the flex drivers are coming to pick the shit up and they have to deliver that shit that day. So you have to get that shit out. We have to push those packages out. Oh my God, we used to do so many packages. Like, y'all wouldn't believe. If y'all don't work at an Amazon, then y'all don't know for real. I be going to DJX5 every day. Not DJX5. Jax5 every day. And they be like, oh, let me give y'all a rundown. So the one that I'm at now, the one that I used to be at was like 10-hour shifts or whatever. The one that I'm at now, we do anywhere from 3 to 5 hour shifts, right? Within that shift range, there's a goal. So, like, just put this into perspective, right? I'm getting there and I'm expecting to work 4 hours. And within this 4 hours, we got to push out 50,000 packages in 4 hours, y'all. Like, wrap that around your brain. Oh my God. Or wrap your brain around that. That's a lot. So, like I was saying, when I was at DJX1, we had to push out a certain number of packages right then. Like, the next shift can't cover whatever we do. There is no next shift. It's just us. Like, we got to push that shit out because it's being delivered that day. So, yeah, man, different Amazons, different vibes, and Jax2 ain't it. And I never worked at Jax2. I'm just an Uber driver that picks these people up. I know every single Amazon location here because when they were building them, I was taking the builders. I was taking the programmers. I met some of the programmers that built these robots and stuff. And I'm just like, awesomeness. Even when I'm at Jax5, like, I'll be like walking through the building and I'm looking at this conveyor belt and I'm like, wow, man, like somebody constructed this. Like, somebody built up blueprints and they had to figure out, we need to do this, that we need it to go this way and that way, and it needs to do this. And then the machine is programmed to read packages and send them to certain slots. Like, the geniusness and the engineering, like, awesomeness. And I love it. I'm into that shit. So yeah, man, like, I took all the people to these different places. I've met so many Amazon people on so many levels. I've met programmers. I've met like the actual people that decide where sites are going to go to, or, you know, what's going to happen at different sites. Like, I've met some big people. And then, of course, I've met all the workers and stuff, people going to buildings, and they tell me stuff. And so, out of all the locations, when I take people, nobody likes Jax2. I've only ever met one lady that liked Jax2. And you know what my thought was? I was just like, she's a supervisor at the location. She's the person, when the people get there, they don't like her. And I was just like, oh, you like Jax2? You the only one that I've met in all these years driving Uber that likes going to Jax2. Like, you're the oppressor. That's what you are. But yeah, man, that's the one. Jax2, nobody likes Jax2. And that's where the dude came from. he was at Jack's 2, but he said his roommate works at my location at Jack's 5, and they love it just like me. Like, I tell people it's all about perception. And so in my brain, when I'm going to Amazon, I'm like, oh man, this is the club that I'm going to go converse with all these people. 'Cause it's my social area. So when I'm not with kids all day, or I'm not driving in my car picking up random strangers, I go to Club Amazon and we work out together. It is a gym that I get paid to go to. And we in there getting our workout. And y'all should see these girls. They be in there with their little waist trainer thing. I ordered me one too. They little waist trainer things on. And I'm just like, okay, all right. We all in here getting some refined. Okay. But that's what it is. Like, we go there every day for a workout. And like, he was like, my roommate says the same thing. Like, that's a fun one to go to. But he doesn't work at Jack's 2 anymore. And I'm just like, kudos to you, buddy. Get the hell away from there. Run far away from Jack's 2. That's not where you want to work at. And I'm pretty sure if you're not in Jacksonville and you work at an Amazon, there's an Amazon in your area that is equivalent to Jack's 2, and nobody wants to work at that Amazon. What do they call those? I think it's fulfillment center. I'm at a sortation center, and I think Jack's 2 is the fulfillment center. And then DJX1, anything that's like DJX, anything, it's a delivery place. It's where they load the trucks, and the trucks go out that day and deliver shit, right? You have all these different Amazons. And so I work at a sortation center. So my opinion is that the sortation centers are the easy places and the fulfillment centers are the hard ones. I don't know. But yeah, he got away from there and she quit her job at Target. And then so when we were talking about the Jack's 5, she was saying she was considering working there. And I was like, yeah, girl. I was like, yeah, come join the party. Come join our workout party.
Anything else we can do before time runs out?
What time is it? Ooh, 10:35.
I just did the trash and then I was like,
So we got a whole hour and 30
what do you mean a
minutes.
whole hour and 30 minutes? We're supposed to leave at 3. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought we were leaving at like
What time you want to leave?
Theo said he wanted to leave at 1:30.
What time is it now?
10:35.
Basically, we have like 3 hours probably. No.
10:35, 11:35, 12:35. Yeah, you're right. About 3 hours until 1:35. But then you want to take 1 hour off for preparation and getting dressed, doing your hair, all that good stuff. So technically, we have 2 good hours of organization. The printer is going out for trash. Yeah, we're not using it. Might as well just.
The one that the computer was right by the computer.
I don't know. Did we have 2 of them?
I believe we have, like, the other one works. It's just out of ink.
Put both of them out. We just get new ones.
No. I'm serious. We just need ink for the other one. All we need to do is just get ink pallets. That one can go. Let me check real quick. That's the one that actually needs the ink on it. If it is, then we keep that one.
That's ratchet. Just put both of them out. Put both of those out.
Actually, this is the one. This is the one.
Just put both of them out. The Minnie Mouse table has to go out. So what you can do is put the Minnie Mouse table out there and just set both of them on the table. I guarantee you somebody will pick them up before the end of the day.
What, you mean the printers?
Yeah.
But I need this.
No, we'll get another one. That's what I'm telling you. You be extra.
Sorry, I need the printer just to get stuff done.
Just get a new one.
Where are you supposed to find new printers?
At Walmart. Walmart has everything.
Walmart, Best Buy.
Where were we? Yeah, the couple that I picked up and I dropped them off. I had so many people last night, y'all. I think I did about 25 rides last night. And then I started kind of late because my son's father's phone just kept calling me. He was like, I don't know what's wrong with the phone. Like, it just keeps calling you. And I was just like, that's weird. So he said he was going to turn the phone off and then turn it, like, restart it. You know what the IT guys be like, turn it off, turn it on again. So I guess that worked because after he did that, he didn't call me anymore for the rest of the night. So I was able to go in the gas station, get my gas. The last thing you want to do when you out here on Uber and it's cold and shit is have to get out and refill the car with gas again, because as the night goes on, it's going to get colder. So, like, just to put you in perspective, when I start the night out, I think it might have been 55. It might have been warmer than that. I just know I walked out the house. I had on an undershirt and a sweater. And when I came back in the house this morning, I was cold. I think it was like, might have been 39 degrees when I got done Ubering. So imagine that, right, y'all? You Ubering and then you got to get out in the middle of the night with the wind blowing and stuff and pump some gas. No, that's not what we're doing. So I start my Uber thing like that. I go to the gas station, get the gas that I need, and then get the snacks that I need while I'm riding or whatever, clean the car out, and then start driving the people. Just start driving them. Sometimes I have like little post up zones in different areas. Like I don't leave the area that I'm in though. I drive Springfield, San Marco, Riverside, and the urban core. And so I stay within the downtown area. The rides come through on the screen if it's not in that area. Because I've been with Uber, so I don't know how it is for the new Ubers, but I've been with Uber so long I can see where the person is at. I can see where they're going. I see how much the ride costs. And y'all know, if y'all follow me on Instagram, y'all already know, because this is part of my tips on Instagram. Don't take that ride if the mileage to go get them and the mileage to take them where they come, where they're going to, if when you add them up, that dollar amount don't equal that or more, don't take them. So that's like one of my whole things. Like, if that shit don't equal up, nope, I'm not taking you. If you going outside of the area that I'm driving in, no, I'm not taking. If you got 2 trips, a lot of those kept coming through, and I was just like, y'all, I swear to God, I'd be talking to the screen. I'd be talking to the Uber screen. I'd be like, because I think they can hear me. I really do. But I'd be like, Uber, I know you didn't just send me this double trip. You know I'm not going to pick them up. And then I'll just cancel it. But every time they do that, I'm just like, y'all already know. Because the algorithm picks up on what you will and won't do. After a while, it'll start sending me the rides that I want. And I'm like, yeah, because y'all motherfuckers knew. Y'all already knew. Y'all know my whole deal and how I roll. Y'all know which rides I'm looking for and which rides I'm going to do. Don't send me those double trips. Now, I will say last night, a plane came in. I don't know how many planes came in, but I kept getting all these rides, y'all. I'm talking about they was going everywhere last night. Rides to Brunswick. There was rides to all different parts of St. Augustine. Like, I want to say 2 or 3 rides came through for Orlando. I was so tempted. Y'all. The ride came through. I think it said $133. But like I said, the mileage to go pick them up and the mileage to take them did not equal up to that dollar amount. And I was not driving to Orlando for $133. Why? Because we don't get paid to come back here. So, like, I need to get paid to go there, come back, and I need the gas money. Then I will do that trip. I don't do that anymore. I used to do those long rides. I don't do the long rides anymore. And I miss doing them. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to click on one of them rides so bad last night. I wanted to take somebody. I really did. I wanted to go to Orlando. I wanted to go to Fernandina. I wanted to go to Brunswick. And I've done all of those locations in the past. My longest ride ever was Destin, Florida. I've done these rides, but not last night because the money wasn't adding up. Anyways, I feel like I done talked y'all to death now. This video is like literally almost to an hour. And yeah. So if you have any questions, comments, all that good stuff, let me know. I like when people ask me questions so that I can tell you guys my opinions and we can converse on it, because I want to know your opinions too. It helps my brain and my thought process goes a little further. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure you check out my Instagram for tips and stuff. I'm going to start doing tips and stuff on here because I'm gonna try to do more lives, and I'm gonna try to do more Instagram, like not more Instagram, but more YouTube shorts on here, and then I'll share like facts and like different things that I know, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole body thing and everything. So if you guys have questions, then ask me. And no question is a bad one. You can ask me anything. And I know I just opened a can of worms with that, but that's how I roll. Y'all know me. Y'all know how I do. If you roll with me before, you know me in real life, you know that no question is off limits. I don't give a shit. We can talk about anything. All right, friends. Laters. All right. How do I end this? Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yeah, I want to stop streaming. Gosh, bye.